Yeah, got it, got it. Yeah. So Lala, today will be, we're keeping an introduction session for GRE. Like in this session, normally we discuss about all these things. Like we cover up the overview of the exam, like what the pattern, what the scoring, test format we have, different types of questions we have in the exam, what's the structure, where it's applicable, and all that stuff over there. Okay, so I'll give you a brief idea about the exam, like what all GRE is about, and what are you like expected to basically deliver. Okay, so in terms of talking about the the application they use, so you can always use GRE for multiple purposes. So it's like you can go for the master's program, you can even go for MBAs now with GRE score, you can go for the PhD programs as well. And the good part is the score is going to be valid for the next 5 years, right? So even if you want to go to like go for your master's, for your MBA, like maybe like after 2 years, you can still prepare for GRE, get a decent score, and then you can easily apply after 2 years with the same score as well. Now, if I talk about the structure, like in structure of GRE, we have majorly three sections. First one is AWA, that's also known as Analytical Writing Assessment section, in which you'll be like it's an essay writing section in which you'll be writing down an essay everyone, and this is more about analyzing an issue in this particular section, and you'll be given a 30 minutes time for this. Okay, so that's always going to be the first section in the exam, which is AWA, Analytical Writing Assessment section. Second and third, like these two are two domains of exam, verbal and quant we have. Now in both the domains, you'll be having two sections each, and the number of questions you can see is the same. So in verbal, you have 12 questions first one, 15 in the second. Same in quant, 12 questions in the first one, 15 in the second. But the timing is different as well. Timing wise, you see verbal has 18 minutes for the first section, but quant has 21 minutes. Same way for the second section, verbal has 23 and quant has 26 minutes over there. Okay. Now these four sections, which is two quant and two verbal, they can come up in any order after the AWA section. Okay. And after AW and basically two more sections, you'll be allowed to take a 10 minutes break over there. Okay, you can always take a 10 minutes break in between. Like after three sections, particularly one is AW and the other one will be one verbal, one quant, or like two verbal or two quant, like that way. Apart from these five sections, two verbal, two quant, and one AWA, you can also expect one more section in the exam, which is either going to be an unscored section or it's going to be a research section. If it's going to be a research section, everyone, it will always be clearly marked as a research section and it will always come up at the end. But if it's going to be an unscored section, which is also known as unidentified section, you will never be knowing which section is the unscored one. So you can expect three verbal and two quant sections. So you can expect three quant and two verbal sections. So this third section of either verbal or quant will be the unscored one. But out of the three sections of either verbal or quant, you will not be knowing which one is the unscored one. So you have to perform that also in the same manner how you're performing the other ones over there. Okay. Any doubts in this part, Nima?
What's the point of the unscored section basically? What part does it play?
Okay, so it's like in both unscored or resource section, they are kind of putting a few questions which they would like to, put in the real exam of the future test takers. So through you, they are kind of checking the adaptability of those questions in terms of difficulty, time management, all that stuff. So
And this
basically, it's
is, sorry,
so,
continue.
go ahead.
And this is true for any time I take an official GRE test.
Yes, yes, yes. Whenever you will be taking it.
Yeah. Because I did do a GRE mock from the official site. I don't think I got three sections in any
Yeah,
case.
so in the mocks they don't provide this because mocks are anyways like did you give a licensed one or the free of cost one?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Did you give the exam, the mock test, which is like available free of cost on the website, or you
Yeah,
purchased it?
the free of cost, there was a practice test for
Right.
tech
So
schools.
the tests which are available free of cost on the website, they're not collecting the data from there, right? So then putting an unscored section won't be of any use for them.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, if we talk about the scoring, everyone, you have AWO always given a sectional score from 0 to 6 in a half point increment, means your score could be like a 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, like that. It can never be 5.3, but a decent score in AWA is going to be at least a 4.5. Now, GRE score, so-called GRE score, will be consisting of these two sections, and GRE score will always be in the range of 260 to 340, where each verbal and quant will correspond to 130 to 170 range, and that too with a 1 point increment. So your score could be like a 165, 166, 67, 68, 69, 70 of them, right? So GRE score will only be consisting of verbal and quant part, not the AW part. But this is also very, very important because sometimes it's very rare, but I've seen sometimes universities not accepting the application because of a very low AW score. So you have to play safe in that aspect. And one thing you all would be knowing that GRE is going to be a, any idea? It's a section level adaptive exam, right? That simply means the difficulty of the questions in your second section of either quant or verbal will be decided on the basis of how you have performed in the first one. So you have to play very well in the first section of quant or verbal, and then once you get higher order difficulty question in the second section, then you play safe in that. But you have to reach to that level to get a decent score in both quant and verbal. Okay. So difficulty of second section will depend on the first one, and you can move back and forth within each section. You can't change the sections, but while performing each section, you can move back and forth. And within each section, all questions have equal contribution. So it's not like a difficult one will give you more marks or less difficult one will give you less marks, because it's a percentile based exam. So within each section, you have equal contribution. But it depends on the total number of questions you're marking correct and what is the percentile you'll be achieving based on the difficulty of the questions. Okay. There's one most important thing we have is there's no negative marking in GRE. So even if you're like not sure about the answers of a particular question, you should still make the best possible guess. Everyone clear with this part? Any doubts on this? Anyone any doubts on this?
Sir,
Yeah.
the section level, like difficultiness, it depends on AW or the reasoning or verbal this thing?
This verbal and quant only, not AWA.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's move forward. Let me show you a few more things. Okay. You see, so in quantitative, everyone, quant reasoning particularly, we have questions in 4 different formats. One is quantity comparison questions, then one is multiple choice question with single answer choice, one is multiple choice question with more than one answer choices, and last one is numeric entry, for which you will not be given any options as such. You have to write down the final answer in the space. And these are the 4 parameters, like major parameters they are testing the quant on. And we have an on-screen calculator also in the exam, which you can always operate with like num keys. In the entire quant section, you'll be allowed to use calculator, which is available on screen. I'll show you like what all I'll be covering up these question types like in the next few slides. I'm just showing you what all topics we cover up under these 4 broader parameters: arithmetic, geometry, algebra, and data analysis. So in arithmetic, we cover up all the percentages, ratio, proportion, sequence series based questions and interest based questions and all. In algebra, you have all the algebra based equations and functions and inequalities and quadratic and all that stuff. In geometry, it's purely geometry up to grade 10th only, nothing like very high level geometry. And data analysis is all about statistics, data analysis, permutation, combination, probability, all that stuff over there. Okay, so these are the broader areas which will be covered up in the classes, and these are the types of topics and concepts will be covering under all of them. Okay, now let me take you through all those types of questions. So starting with the first one, in which we have quantity comparison question type. Now, what kind of question we get in this is, you see this. Uh, they'll be always providing your information, like this is an additional information we have given, and you have to compare these two quantities. You have to tell which quantity is going to be greater, and you have four standard options for every quantity comparison question. So you will mark the answer as option A. If quantity A is always greater, you'll mark the answer as option B. If quantity B is always greater, you'll mark it as C if both the quantities are equal, and you'll mark it as D if you cannot find the relationship between them. Okay. So would you like to try this, everyone? Just try this and tell me the answer.
So is it option B?
Sure, no. You said Bombay, right?
Sir?
You said B for Bombay, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not B. So I think Delilah, that's correct. You see, everyone, the answer is D for this. How do we get that? You see, we're given x is smaller than y plus 1, but you want to compare x with y, right? So we have no uh, information about y or x given to us, whether it's positive, negative, zero, odd, even, integer, decimal, right? So I'm just taking a random number y on the number line. So if y is a random number over here on the number line, then can we say y plus 1 will always be greater than y, irrespective of whether y is positive, negative, or zero, right? And if you are given in the information that x is smaller than y plus 1, if x is smaller than y plus 1, then it can be greater than y, it can be less than y, it can be equal to y also, right? X can take any value. So can we compare x and y? No. Sometimes it's greater, sometimes it's smaller, sometimes it's equal. So answer should be a D in this case. Getting everyone? Was it simple? How many of you took the values in this to cross verify? Did you take values in these?
Yes, I do.
Got it, got it. You see, normally we avoid value putting in quantity comparison. The reason being, what if you are not able to take a value which will give you the contradiction? Like right now, you got the contradiction, that's great. But what if you are getting a definite single answer and you're not able to pick a value which will give you contradiction, right? So you'll be never sure about your answer if you go by value putting over there. So that's the first type. Now let's move to the next one, which is multiple choice question with single answer. So in this case, you'll be only having only one option correct as the answer. So like you see in this question, try this, everyone, try this. How to identify it's a single answer question in the exam. You will always be having these options given in circle. Like whenever the options are tagged in circle, that's a single answer question. So that's correct. Delilah, that's correct. How are you getting this? Tell me, like what approach you have used on this? Anyone? Swati, Delilah? How are you getting this?
I basically considered the value. So basically, if it's like milk is 35%, rest is water, that is 65.
Yeah.
65%, and if the total is 100, that then I'm able to get the milk is 35 and water is 65 ml. And if it has to be reduced, the milk percentage to 20% of the total volume, it means that and water has to be added. It means milk remains the same. That is, milk is still 35. However, X basically is added to water, and hence X is also added to 100 liters. And
Amazing.
that overall 100 plus X is basically that increase of 20. I mean, the change is basically 20%. So then I just did 35 upon 100 plus X is equal to 20.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So that's great. I think you got the best reasoning for this. I'll just explain it again for everyone. So everyone, what Delilah is saying, she's saying like on the first side you have a solution which is 100 liters in volume. It's 35% milk and 65% water, right? Now what's happening is you're trying to add some liters of water in this. So you're adding some water in this. I don't know, let's say it's X liters. So if it's completely water, then the milk percentage will be zero. It's going to be 100% water only. And after adding this water, what's happening is finally it's becoming the volume is becoming 100 plus X liters, and the percentage of milk has reduced to 20%. And that would make sense, right? Because if you're adding extra water in the solution, then obviously the percentage of milk will reduce, right? But you see, she has used an amazing reasoning over here that when you're adding extra water, everyone, the percentage of milk will reduce, but amount or the quantity of milk will never change because you have not added or subtracted extra milk, right? The milk remained the same. You have only added extra water. So what she's doing, she's just simply equating the amount of milk you have before adding water to the amount of milk after having water. So amount of milk before having water is before adding water is 35% of 100 liters. Amount of milk after adding water is 20% of 100 plus X, right? And because the milk quantity is not changing, so we can equate this. So it's just one single equation you have to form if you're clear with the concept over there. Okay, so understand GRE is not about like how good you are in maths. It's about how good you are in the reasoning part, how good you are in reading and decoding the question over there. So cancel this out. It's a 3500 is equals to 2000 plus 20x. So 20x will be a 1500 everyone. So x is going to be a 75 liters. Is this making sense, everyone? So whenever the options are tagged in circles, it's a single answer question. You have to only choose one answer over there. Now next type is like the tougher one, in which we have multiple choice questions with more than one answer choice. And in that case, the questions are always tagged in square boxes. You can see they're tagged with the square boxes over here, right? So whenever the questions are tagged with square boxes, it's a multiple answer question. So you can have more than one answer. Just try this one, everyone. Try this. Okay, I got one answer only. I think that's correct. Yep. So in this question, they are asking which of the following must be true if A is negative and B is positive. Okay, so if A is negative, B is positive, the sum of these two will be like negative and positive. But there's a mod sign you're putting, and that will always make it positive. Will that be less than B always? We can't say, because if A is a minus 20 and B is just a 3, so mod of this will be a mod of negative 17, which is actually become 17. And 17 is not less than 3, right? So this is not always true. Sum of these two negative, again can't say A is negative, B is positive. What if the positive value B is much higher than the negative value of A? So not always true. But you know that product is always going to be negative. If one is positive, one is negative, then product of the two numbers is always going to be negative. So this is always true. Now A is negative, everyone, and there's a minus sign you have, and then B is positive. So minus of a positive value will always be negative. So this is always going to be less than 0. That's correct. What about the ratio of B and A? B is positive, A is negative. Overall ratio will be always negative. So never more than 0, never my answer. A raised to power B. So negative base raised to power a positive value. Now this depends on the power over there, right? What if the power being positive is even? If it's an even power, then it will make the negative base as positive. So it's not going to be less than 0. So it's only C and D is the answer. Now suppose in this multiple answer question, if by mistake you chose C, D, but you also chose one more option, E, let's say, then also this question will be marked wrong. You have to only choose the right options. Nothing more than that, nothing less than that. Everyone with me on this? Got it? Okay, great. Now the last type of question is, everyone, it's I told you it's a numeric entry question in which you will not be given any options as such. You have to simply write down the answer in the space given over there. Okay. So this is the question, numeric entry, everyone. Try this question. Tell me the answer.
Seven.
So that's correct. Very good. Let's see if others are also getting the same. Everyone, you getting this? You see, one way is like you use calculator and you multiply 2 raised to power 7, 5 raised to power 9, you multiply them, right? But the catch is you have a 2 raised to power 7. I'm writing this 5 raised to power 9 as 5 raised to power 7 and 5 raised to power 2. Now, why this way? Because now you have the common power, so you can make the base getting multiplied with the common power. So it's going to be a 2 times 5 raised to power 7 multiplied by 5 square, which makes it a 10 raised to power 7, and 5 square is 25. So 10 raised to power 7 will give you nothing but the 7 zeros at the end. And you're looking for the sum of the digits of n. So sum of the digits of n will be nothing but a 7, right? So this is how we use it, we solve it. We can go with the calculator, but you have to still apply a better reasoning over there. So I hope you all got a good idea of like the type of questions we have in GRE. Everyone. Now, like this is all normally what I discuss regarding the type of questions and the format and everything. If you have some doubts, then please ask me.
Sir, please repeat the syllabus again as I have joined late.
First, in the syllabus part, like you see, we majorly cover up this all. So we'll be covering up this in 4 broader parameters: arithmetic, algebra, data analysis, and geometry and all. And these are the subtopics. The conceptual part will be covering up. Okay. Any other questions, anyone?
Sir, what is the level of maths in GRE exam?
The level of math is up to grade 10th only, Sparsh, but it's more about the reasoning. They're not testing your maths, how great you are in maths over there, but you have seen the questions, right, which we are solving. They just want to know whether you can comprehend the question properly or not, and then whether you are able to put the right reasoning to make yourself faster. Correct?
Okay, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
it's a different kind of exam altogether. Maths is on a basic level, but applied in a tweaked manner. And I've also dropped a form, a link in the chat box in which you can just drop in your details, because you see, I take care of the GRE exam only as as a faculty, so I can answer all your questions regarding the GRE exam particularly. But there would be a lot of questions you will be having in your mind regarding the applications, regarding which university, which country you should target, which course you should prefer, all that stuff. So for that, you need to have a separate call with the counselor. So if you want to, inquire about that part, you just drop in your details in that form, and the counselor will always, will surely get in touch with you. But any questions you have regarding the exam, I'll be happy to answer. Anyone? Delilah, Shreya, any doubts, Swati? Like what's your plan regarding GRE? When are you like thinking of taking it, everyone?
Sir,
I'm
January.
so sorry. Uh,
Okay,
okay.
first
I,
is
I
in
had
January.
one
Yeah. Go ahead, Swati.
I had one question.
Yeah.
So similar to this, will there be a mock session for the verbal part as well?
So it's like normally, we conduct this open session for quant part. We do for verbal. I think this cycle is going for the quant. But if you want a verbal session, we can arrange it like on a one-to-one basis for you. That's not a problem. Okay. So
Okay.
when you'll be talking to the counselor, now when you drop in your details in the form, when the counselor get in touch with you, just tell them you want to have a session regarding verbal as well, just in interaction with the faculty.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. Shreya, the fee for the GRE exam you're asking me? Okay, it's I think
Yes, sir.
it's close to 23,000, like 23,000 over there.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So like it's all three session together at once we get the exam, or is it like different?
No. You will be taking it again in one go only on the same day.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I had one more question. So when you
Go
had
for it.
mentioned regarding the essay type of
Yeah.
question,
Mhm.
so what is the difficulty level or what is the complexity that we can expect?
In the essay writing,
Yeah.
I won't say it's very easy, but it's not that difficult too. They're not looking for fancy words and all, but they're looking for, how do you frame the entire passage, like the entire essay around the issue they'll be creating over there. So it's more about the mapping of the essay, not about fancy words or the vocabulary you're using over
So I guess it's more about the content that or the idea that we want to put rather
there. Yes,
than how we
yes,
are.
because you see, even your
Okay.
SOPs also when you'll be going for the applications, right? So
Hmm.
everywhere where you're putting an essay kind of thing, you're writing a passage kind of thing, it gives them more clarity about the purpose, like why do you want to do this stuff, right? So it shows uh how much detailed study you have done regarding something. That's why it's more relevant in that sense. Okay, whatever issue you're analyzing in AWA, that will reflect uh, how do you segregate the things, how do you break it down, and how do you like put it further over there that way. Getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, understood.
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Sir,
Go Shreya.
sir, like on what basis, like on what topics will they ask us to write the essay about?
Like it's not very specific topic. It's all general topics over there, which you would already be knowing about. It's not like a very specific thing they'll be asking for.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Go ahead, Sparsh.
sir, the syllabus which you have shown to us, the type of question is means the level of question will be like the cat level or just below that cat.
Oh no. Cat is like on a very high level. It's always below the cat level. It's up to grade 10th only, boss. It's not that difficult.
Okay. Because the syllabus is almost the same, sir.
Yeah, but you see the differentiation, integration, everything like those weird chapters, trigonometry is not here.
Yeah, somehow, yeah, 70% is same, but
Yeah.
okay, sir.
Hmm. Any other questions, anyone?
Nothing from me.
Got it. Thank you. So I hope you all have filled the form, okay? So make sure you fill it and just drop in your details. The counselor will get in touch with you. Make sure you get the information, most of the information from the counselor as well regarding your applications, regarding your universities, college, courses, and everything, right? So this is all from my side, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Anything else, anyone? Great. Got it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Have a great evening. Hope to see you again.